AEW. Yes, hello once again for the second year in a row. Brother Love reporting to you with all of the WTF moments from an episode of AEW Dynamite, where we now live in a world, everybody, where if the Young Bucks do not defeat FTR at Full Gear, the Young Bucks can never ever compete for the AEW World Tag Team Championships ever again. And I don't know about you, but when I heard Matt Jackson say that line on last night's show, I was thinking, surely not. Surely we cannot live in a world where the Young Bucks can't challenge for the World Tag Team titles, and Cody, he can't challenge for the World title. How are AEW, potentially, down the line, going to get themselves out of the same situation twice? We cannot live in a world like that, can we? The result for that match? Predictable now? Maybe. But I tell you what, as for last night's show, I thought it was tickety-boo, with Wardlow and Penta in particular stealing the headlines. Fantastic performances from both of those men. Wow, such good SHIT, eh? Rest in power, Tracy Smothers and Brother Love. Intro man, hit that bloody intro, will you? Now, I'm sorry everybody, but go back and watch Wardlow's entrance from last night's Dynamite and go to that moment there where Mr. Wardlow himself is perched on the middle rope like a really muscular bird. An eagle? I've got no idea what he was actually saying in this very moment right here, but if you go back and look at his lips, it looks like he's saying moo! In what has to be the most random tribute to Mantar in the history of tributes to Mantar. That is indeed, if there are actually any tributes to Mantar, which there might not be because Mantar was rubbish. Anyway, moo!
It's Jim Ross, bitch.
Bah, Gouda did it again.
Oh. Ooh, anyway, well, that's a thing now here on these AEW TF Moments videos. Anywho, wasn't it funny to hear just how pissed off Jim Ross was just seconds after Wardlow went to Jeffrey Hardy and did that off the top rope? Anyway, in that fit of rage, by God, Jim Ross himself claimed that Wardlow was all of 277 to 280 pounds, even though we just heard the bloody entrance of Wardlow himself, where the Dapper Yapper himself, Mr. Justin Roberts, announced that Wardlow weighs 267 pounds. JR, this myth of the camera adding 10 pounds, that's all it is. It's a myth. Oh, I'm fat. So cast your minds back, and I do believe the bunny left the butcher and the blade with no real reason given. But now she's back with the butcher and the blade because Eddie Kingston a few weeks ago on Dynamite said to the butcher and the blade, "How butcher, how blade, get your house in order." And then, not on Dynamite, Eddie Kingston said to the bunny, "Hello, Mrs. Bunny, would you like to come back with us?" That's the storyline, apparently. I'm just asking what's going on with the bunny. She went from one side to t'other, as people from Yorkshire would say, with not much of a real reason given, and then she's gone back to the side with not much of a reason given once again. The bones of the situation of this particular bunny are there. AEW, put some more meat on them. This is a crap story so far. Maybe. Remember what I said about tributes to Mantar earlier in this very video? Well, everybody forget what I said. I'm talking a load of bull bollocks, because there's one right there. Unless, of course, that bull there is supposed to be Bully from Bullseye, a bull that we all know is a far superior bull thing compared to Mantar himself. Now, I know that Matt and Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks are supposed to be heely heels here in October of 2020, but when I heard them claim on last night's Dynamite, and let me read this out to get it correct, we think of ourselves as regular good people, I was like, what the hell, nah? Hold up there, you bucky little bastards. And this might just be the reaction they're looking for from idiots just like me, but then again, I remember the whole thing with the chair and them looking very sympathetic and, oh no, Matt's injured, how are they going to do it? Are they the baby faces in this feud? I've got no idea. But don't stop doing them, AEW. Don't stop doing them because idiots like me try to pick things apart and then can't pick things apart. That's on me, that. I'm a twat. But when I heard that line from Matt and Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks, I thought of stuff like that, and I was thinking regular people like me Like me, we don't go down to Greg's of a morning for our morning coffee and go, huzzah, money here, left and right. Ha ha, look at all of our money. That's what regular people don't do, man. It's the MJF smiling lady who is still smiling, everybody. That's despite the fact she's no longer assigned to or aligned with MJF. And that very screenshot there was taken right from the start of an MJF segment from last night's show. So what does any of this mean? I've got no idea. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm doing here. Now, I had to do a double take for this upcoming WTF moment from last night's town hall meeting ting between MJF and Chris Jericho. I had watched Luchasaurus do his thing. I was in the middle of watching Britt Baker and Reba do their nerdy thing, and I was thinking, hang on a second, I can't present this video called WTF Moments without mentioning Luchasaurus's bit. And that's because, dear viewer, we had a 65 million year old dinosaur with a master's degree in some sort of historical subject stood there in the midst of a town hall meeting on international global television asking the inner circle about their economical affairs. How can that not be a WTF moment? In fact, it's got to be a WTF moment. The fact that I thought that scene there was so normal that it couldn't be a WTF moment. What I've learned here is that there's nothing like professional wrestling, and it's absolutely fantastic. And now I've got to question MJF's tactics. When a certain Eric B, what the hell could that B stand for? Could it stand for Biscoff Spread? Oh, Biscoff Spread. Anyway, when this Eric B fella asked MJF what MJF could bring to the inner circle, MJF said friendship. Friendship. Not, oh, I'll help us win every single title in AEW. I'll help us take all of the money out of AEW into our pockets. I'll help us kill Cody Rhodes himself. Nothing substantial like that from MJF. We got friendship. What a stupid answer. And I'm only saying this is a stupid answer because it was a stupid answer given to a group fronted by none other than Le Champion himself, Mr. Chris Jericho. MJF, did you ask yourself the question, what happened to Chris Jericho the last time he was involved in something surrounding friendship on a professional wrestling show? Huh! What's this list got my name on for? Bosh. TV screen, he died. I mean, this WTF moment does not matter in the slightest because MJF sort of got what he wanted. If MJF defeats Chris Jericho at Full Gear, he is in the inner circle. But still, think it through, man, Maxwell. And so on these WTF moments from last night's Dynamite, we fast forward through the matchup between Cody and Orange Cassidy, where Arn Anderson might just be losing faith in Cody. That's the message I took from the end to that match. I don't know about you. I could be completely wrong. But hey, we've all got arseholes, haven't we? Oh, that's not how the saying goes. Opinions like arseholes. Everybody's got one. And even though it was for somebody else's women's world title, why not AEW put some focus on Shida? Make her title seem more important than the afterthought it is currently. We had a WTF moment that was a women's match on Dynamite with some actual substance. It was a great match. Serena Deeb, she's bloody good, isn't she? The end is nigh, the end is nigh, time to run away, the end is nigh. We had Shawn Spears getting a weird squash victory before getting attacked by Scorpio Sky, who was inside that mantle costume, by the way. Who saw that coming? And then we get to this, and it feels like the 50th or maybe 60th time I've asked this question here on AEWTF Moments on the Cultaholic Wrestling YouTube channel. Within the realms of kayfabe and storytelling, why does Le Champion himself, Chris Jericho, keep being allowed to be on AEW commentary? Out of storyline and kayfabe, we know why. It's because he's absolutely fantastic. But storyline-wise, it doesn't quite make sense in my mind, as I'm stood here picking apart these professional wrestling shows and clutching at one too many straws. If you have a theory as to why that keeps happening within storytelling, let me know so I can stop saying the same things every single video. And then we've got to make the sass that JR himself gave to Excalibur, because Excalibur had the cheek, he had the gall to say, how, look, Jim Ross, those two scantily clad ladies there, they've got the Lucha Bros mask on. That's a significant detail, that, Jim Ross. Did you notice? It's got to be a huge WTF moment. First of all, of course, because we've all been watching JR doing the commentary on the AEW shows for the past year, and we've listened to and we've seen Jim Ross miss a hell of a lot. It seems harsh to say, but as they used to say on Pro Evolution Soccer, Harsh but fair there. And then second of all, which has to be the more substantial part of this WTF moment, look at what those ladies are wearing and look at what we know about Jim Ross, especially his behaviour on social media. You horny bugger. No, you can't blame Excalibur for pointing out a detail that everybody else but Jim Ross might have seen.
Gouda did it again.
And then we have a direct quote from Jim Ross himself when he says, and the referee protecting the safety of the athlete, trying to communicate with Penta. Yes, that's right, everybody. Potentially in this moment, Jim Ross revealed that he thinks that. No, it's not Penta El Zero Miedo. Don't be silly. He thinks that is John Tenta El Zero Miedo. And that is one hell of a thought to try and compute as we wind down these WTF moments from this week's AEW Dynamite. But to finish, before we go, we've got to mention the fact that Hangman Adam Page should have won the tournament already, as if we're going to follow the rules, which we should be doing in the professional wrestling. No matter what AEW have tried to tell us over the past year, both Kenny and John Tenta, El Zero Miedo, they should have been counted out last night, shouldn't they? I think they should have. I think my maths was correct, but then again, I only got a C at GCSE, so there's a very strong chance it is not right. But there we go. And that's it for your WTF moments from last night's AEW Dynamite. I, for the second year in a row, have been Brother Love from Cultaholic. Happy Halloween, everybody. Bloody hell. Once again, thank you. If you've sent me a message of support on anything, I've read it. I might not... I'm still getting loads. It's absolutely mental. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.